There is a moment in time when heaven listens more closely, when destiny leans in, and when your voice carries the authority to shift atmospheres. This is that moment. This is not just another Tuesday. This is a divine appointment, a strategic intersection between your faith and God's power. I came to announce to you that what you speak today will echo into your week. What you declare today will establish your outcomes. And what you believe in this moment will begin to manifest with undeniable force. You are not here by accident. You are here on assignment. There is a grace available right now that can break cycles, accelerate answers, and position you for victory before the week even unfolds. I feel a prophetic urgency in this atmosphere. Chains are about to be broken, doors are about to open, and confidence is about to rise within you like never before. This is your time to take authority over fear, over doubt, over every limitation that tried to follow you into this week. As we step into this atomic prayer, understand that you are not begging, you are legislating. You are not hoping, you are enforcing what heaven has already ordained. There is power in your mouth, there is fire in your words, and there is divine backing behind every declaration you are about to make. This prayer is going to ignite something within you that will not be easily shaken, something that will carry you through every challenge with boldness and supernatural confidence. Before we go any further, I want you to engage your faith right now. Don't just listen, participate. If you're ready to take authority over your week, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to this channel for daily prayers that empower your spirit, and type them in the comments as a declaration that you are in agreement with what God is about to do. And I want you to write one thing you are believing God for today, because your expectation is the seed for your manifestation. Now lift your faith, align your spirit, and prepare yourself, because this is not an ordinary prayer. This is an atomic release of power, confidence, and divine alignment that is about to set the tone for your entire week, shifting everything in your favor and positioning you to walk in authority, victory, and unstoppable momentum. There is a sacred authority that has been placed within you, an authority that is not shaped by circumstances, not diminished by opposition, and not limited by what you feel in the natural. It is an authority that originates from heaven itself, a divine empowerment that has been entrusted to you so that you can stand at the beginning of your week and declare what shall be and what shall not be. As this moment unfolds, you are stepping into more than just another day. You are stepping into a position of command, a place where your voice carries weight in the spirit, and your declarations begin to establish outcomes before they ever manifest in the physical. This is the moment where you rise above reaction and step into intentional authority, where you refuse to let the week define you, and instead you define the week with clarity, confidence, and spiritual precision. You begin to recognize that authority is not noise, it is not striving, and it is not forceful in the way the world understands power. It is calm, it is steady, it is deeply rooted in knowing who you are and whose you are. There is a quiet confidence that begins to rise within you, a confidence that does not need validation from circumstances because it is anchored in truth. As you take your place at the start of this week, you begin to align your spirit with that truth, allowing it to settle within you like a firm foundation that cannot be shaken. You are no longer approaching the days ahead with uncertainty or hesitation, but with a deep assurance that you have been given the right to speak, to declare, and to establish order where there once may have been chaos. In this space, you begin to shift your perspective, moving from a place of reaction into a place of leadership. You are not waiting to see what will happen, you are deciding what will happen. You are not bracing yourself for difficulty. You are setting the tone for victory. There is a shift taking place within your mind, where every limiting thought begins to lose its hold, and every fear that once whispered doubt begins to fade into silence. You are becoming aware that the authority you carry is not dependent on your feelings. It is activated by your agreement with divine truth. And as you agree, something begins to move, something begins to align, something begins to respond to the authority that you are exercising in this moment. You begin to speak, not from a place of desperation, but from a place of certainty. Your words are no longer scattered or uncertain, but intentional and focused, carrying the weight of belief and expectation. Each declaration becomes a seed that is being planted into the soil of your week, seeds that will grow into outcomes, into opportunities, into moments of favor that you may not even see yet, but are already being established. There is a rhythm to this authority, a calm but powerful flow that begins to guide your words and your thoughts, aligning everything within you to move in the same direction. There is no conflict within you, no divided voice, but a unified declaration that begins to shape the atmosphere around you. As you continue to stand in this place, you begin to sense that you are not alone in this moment. There is a divine partnership at work, a collaboration between your voice and heaven's response. What you declare is not falling into emptiness. It is being received, it is being acknowledged, it is being set into motion. There is a responsiveness in the spirit that begins to mirror your authority, a movement that aligns with your declarations and begins to carry them forward into manifestation. This is not about striving to something happen, but about stepping into alignment with what has already been prepared, already been established, already been made available for you to walk into. You begin to take authority over every area of your week, not with anxiety, but with peace. You address your days with clarity, speaking into your schedule, into your responsibilities, into every interaction that will take place. You begin to call things into order, to establish peace where there could have been stress, to release clarity where there could have been confusion. There is a sense of intentionality in everything you are doing, a deliberate act of aligning your week with purpose and direction. Nothing is left to chance. Nothing is left undefined, but everything is brought under the influence of the authority you are exercising. As this authority continues to rise within you, you begin to notice that your posture is changing. There is a steadiness in you that was not there before, a calm strength that begins to anchor you even as you think about the unknowns of the week ahead. You are no longer unsettled by what you cannot control because you are focused on what you can establish. There is a peace that accompanies this authority, a deep sense of assurance that you are not walking into this week unprepared, but fully equipped, fully empowered, and fully aligned with a greater purpose that is unfolding. Your words begin to carry a different weight, a different tone, a different energy. They are no longer shaped by past experiences or previous disappointments, but by a renewed understanding of what is possible. You are speaking from a place of expectation, a place that anticipates good, that anticipates breakthrough, that anticipates alignment and favor. This expectation is not wishful thinking. It is a confident knowing that begins to influence how you see everything around you. Even challenges begin to look different, not as obstacles, but as opportunities for your authority to be exercised, for your confidence to be strengthened, for your alignment to be deepened. In this moment, you begin to take responsibility for the atmosphere you carry. You realize that your presence is not neutral, that wherever you go, you bring something with you. And as you establish authority at the beginning of your week, you are choosing to carry peace, to carry clarity, to carry confidence into every space you enter. You are no longer subject to the atmosphere around you, but you become a contributor, a shaper, a setter of tone. This awareness begins to shift how you move, how you speak, how you respond, creating a consistency within you that remains steady regardless of what you encounter. There is also a refining that begins to take place within your thoughts. You become more aware of what you allow to remain in your mind, more intentional about aligning your thinking with truth rather than fear. Every thought that tries to introduce doubt is gently but firmly replaced with a declaration of confidence. Every mental pattern that once leaned toward worry is redirected toward peace. This is part of your authority, the ability to govern not only your external environment, but your internal world as well. And as your thoughts align, your words follow. And as your words align, your actions begin to reflect that same authority. You begin to sense a momentum building, not a rushed or chaotic momentum, but a steady and intentional flow that carries you forward. This is what happens when authority is established at the beginning, when alignment is set before activity begins. There is less resistance, less confusion, less wasted energy, because everything is moving in harmony with the declarations you have made. You are no longer trying to correct your course in the middle of the week, because you have already set the direction from the start. There is a clarity that guides you, a quiet assurance that you are moving in the right direction. As you remain in this posture, you begin to release control over what does not belong to you. Authority is not about controlling everything, but about establishing what is yours to establish and trusting the rest to unfold as it should. There is a balance that emerges, a harmony between action and trust, between declaration and surrender. You are not carrying the weight of the entire week on your shoulders, but you are carrying the responsibility of your alignment, your words, and your posture. And in that responsibility, there is freedom, there is peace, there is a lightness that allows you to move with confidence rather than pressure. You begin to notice that even your expectations for the week are being elevated. What once seemed like a good outcome now feels like a starting point, and your vision begins to expand. You are no longer thinking in terms of survival or getting through the week, but in terms of thriving, of advancing, of stepping into opportunities that align with your purpose. This shift in expectation begins to influence your decisions, your focus, your priorities, guiding you toward what truly matters and away from distractions that do not serve your growth. There is also a strengthening that takes place within your resolve. You become less easily shaken, less easily distracted, less easily discouraged. This is not because challenges disappear, but because your foundation has been established in authority. You know where you stand, you know what you have declared, and you are not easily moved away from that alignment. There is a resilience that begins to develop, a quiet but powerful determination that keeps you steady, even when things do not go exactly as planned. As this moment continues to unfold, you begin to feel a deep sense of readiness. Not a hurried readiness, but a calm and confident preparedness that comes from knowing you have aligned yourself at the start. You are not scrambling to catch up. You are not reacting to everything that comes your way, but you are moving with intention, with clarity, with a steady sense of purpose that guides you through each moment of the week ahead. There are patterns that try to follow you into a new week, quiet repetitions that move beneath the surface, cycles that have learned your responses and attempt to recreate the same outcomes again and again. They do not always arrive loudly. Sometimes they come as familiar thoughts, subtle doubts, quiet fears that try to settle in before you even recognize their presence. But this moment is different, because you are becoming aware, and awareness is the beginning of disruption. You are no longer moving unconsciously, no longer allowing yesterday to rewrite itself into today. You are stepping into a place of intention, where every cycle that once repeated without resistance is now being confronted with clarity, with calm authority, with a steady refusal to allow it to continue. You begin to notice that fear often disguises itself as preparation, as caution, as something that feels reasonable, yet beneath it there is a quiet tension that limits your ability to move freely. Doubt often appears as logic, as analysis, as a voice that questions what is possible, gently pulling you away from confidence. Limitation wraps itself around your expectations, shaping what you believe you can achieve, what you think you deserve, what you feel is realistic. These patterns are not always obvious, but they are consistent, and consistency is what gives them influence. Yet in this moment, you are stepping outside of that pattern, recognizing it not as truth, but as something that can be interrupted, something that can be released, something that no longer has permission to define your experience. There is a stillness that begins to form within you, not a passive stillness, but a focused awareness that allows you to observe without immediately reacting. You begin to see the difference between what is happening around you and what is forming within you. And in that space, you gain the ability to choose. You are no longer carried by automatic responses, no longer pulled into familiar reactions, but you begin to respond with intention. Fear may attempt to rise, but you meet it with calm confidence. Doubt may try to whisper, but you answer it with clarity. Limitation may try to define your boundaries, but you gently expand beyond it, refusing to accept what no longer aligns with who you are becoming. As you move deeper into this awareness, you begin to understand that cycles are sustained by agreement. They continue because at some level they have been accepted, believed, or tolerated. But now that agreement is being withdrawn. You are no longer in alignment with fear, no longer in agreement with doubt, no longer accepting limitation as your reality. This is not a forceful rejection, but a quiet and steady disengagement. You are simply choosing something different, choosing peace over fear, choosing confidence over doubt, choosing expansion over limitation. And as you make that choice, something begins to shift, something begins to loosen, something begins to release its hold on you. There is a gentle breaking that begins to take place, not loud or chaotic, but intentional and precise. Old patterns begin to lose their structure. Their predictability begins to fade. Their influence begins to weaken. You may notice moments where the familiar response tries to return, where the old pattern attempts to reestablish itself, but you are no longer the same. You pause, you breathe, you realign. You do not follow the same path. You do not repeat the same reaction. You simply choose differently. And in that choice, the cycle is interrupted. It does not continue. It does not complete. It begins to dissolve. You begin to feel a lightness within you, a sense that something has been lifted. Something that once felt automatic no longer carries the same weight. This is the space where new patterns begin to form, not out of effort, but out of alignment. As fear releases, peace naturally takes its place. As doubt fades, clarity begins to rise. As limitation loosens, possibility begins to expand. You are not forcing change, you are allowing it, creating space for something new to emerge, something that reflects the direction you are intentionally choosing. In this process, you also begin to cultivate patience with yourself. Breaking cycles is not about perfection, it is about awareness and consistency. There may be moments where you notice old patterns attempting to return, but instead of frustration, you respond with understanding. You gently bring yourself back into alignment, back into intention, back into the calm authority that you are establishing. Each time you do this, you strengthen the new path, you reinforce the new pattern, you deepen the shift that is taking place within you. There is also a strengthening of your inner voice, a quiet confidence that begins to guide you. It does not argue, it does not force, it simply reminds you of what you have chosen. It brings you back to clarity when your mind begins to wander. It grounds you when emotions begin to rise. It steadies you when uncertainty tries to appear. This voice becomes more familiar, more trusted, more consistent, guiding you through moments that once would have led you back into old cycles. As you continue to move in this way, you begin to notice changes not only within you, but around you. Situations that once triggered certain responses no longer have the same effect. Conversations feel different, decisions feel clearer, your presence feels more grounded. This is the result of the shift that is taking place within you, a reflection of the cycles that are being broken and the new patterns that are being established. You are no longer reacting from habit, but responding from intention, and that changes everything. There is also a sense of empowerment that begins to grow, not loud or overwhelming, but steady and reassuring. You realize that you are not at the mercy of your past patterns, not bound by what has been, not limited by what is repeated before. You have the ability to choose, to shift, to realign. This realization brings a quiet strength, a confidence that allows you to move forward without hesitation, knowing that you are no longer carrying what you have released. You begin to approach the week with a different mindset, one that is not shaped by previous experiences, but by present awareness. Each day becomes an opportunity to reinforce the new, to continue the shift, to deepen the alignment. You are not looking back to see if the cycle will return. You are looking forward with clarity, with focus, with a calm expectation that what lies ahead is not a repetition, but a progression. There is a deep sense of peace that settles within you as you continue in this space. Not because everything around you is perfect, but because you are no longer internally aligned with what disrupts that peace. Fear may exist, but it does not control you. Doubt may appear, but it does not define you. Limitation may present itself, but it does not confine you. You remain steady, centered, grounded in the awareness that you have stepped out of the cycle and into a new way of being. As this awareness continues to expand, you begin to trust yourself more. You trust your ability to recognize patterns, to make different choices, to remain aligned even when it would be easier to fall back into the familiar. This trust becomes a foundation, something that supports you as you continue to move forward, something that reminds you that change is not only possible, but already happening. There is also a sense of renewal that begins to take place, as though you are experiencing your week with fresh eyes, with a new perspective that allows you to see possibilities that were previously hidden by old patterns. You are more open, more present, more aware of the opportunities that exist in each moment. This openness creates space for growth, for expansion, for experiences that align with the direction you are choosing. You begin to move with intention in everything you do, aware of the patterns you are reinforcing, aware of the direction you are creating. Your actions become more aligned, your words more intentional, your thoughts more focused. There is a consistency that begins to develop, a steady rhythm that supports the new patterns you are establishing. This consistency is not forced, it is natural, flowing from the alignment that you have created within yourself. As you continue in this way, you begin to feel a quiet confidence in your ability to maintain this shift. You are not relying on external circumstances to support your change, but on your internal alignment. This makes your progress stable, sustainable, something that can continue regardless of what is happening around you. You are no longer dependent on conditions being perfect because your peace, your clarity, your direction come from within. There is also a deep sense of gratitude that begins to emerge, not necessarily for everything that has happened, but for the awareness that has come from it, for the ability to recognize and release what no longer serves you. This gratitude adds a layer of softness to your strength, a balance that allows you to move forward with both confidence and calmness. You begin to feel more present in your life, less caught in repetition, more engaged in each moment as it unfolds. There is a freshness to your experience, a sense that you are no longer reliving the same patterns, but actively creating something new. This presence allows you to fully engage with your week, to respond with clarity, to move with intention, to remain aligned with the direction you have chosen. And as you continue in this awareness, in this alignment, in this steady and intentional breaking of cycles, you find yourself moving forward with a quiet strength, a calm confidence, and a deep sense of peace that supports you in every step you take, allowing you to experience your week not as a repetition of the past, but as a new and unfolding expression of clarity, freedom, and intentional living. There is a confidence that does not come from what you have seen, what you have achieved, or what others have said about you, but a confidence that rises from within, steady and unshaken, rooted in something deeper than circumstance. It is not loud, it is not forceful, it does not demand attention, yet it carries a quiet strength that cannot be ignored. This is the confidence that begins to awaken within you now, a calm assurance that you are equipped for what lies ahead, that you are capable of facing every moment of this week with clarity, with strength, with a sense of inner stability that does not waver when things become uncertain. You begin to notice that confidence is not the absence of challenge, but the presence of alignment. It is not about everything being easy, but about you being steady regardless of what unfolds. There is a shift taking place within you where you are no longer waiting to feel ready, no longer depending on perfect conditions before you move forward. Instead, you begin to move with what you have, trusting that what is within you is enough for this moment. This trust becomes the foundation of your confidence, a quiet knowing that you are not lacking, not behind, not unprepared, but fully capable of taking the next step with assurance. As this confidence begins to grow, boldness follows, not as something aggressive or overwhelming, but as a natural extension of clarity. When you know who you are, when you are aligned with your purpose, when you are grounded in truth, boldness becomes a gentle but firm expression of that alignment. You speak more clearly, you decide more quickly, you move more freely. There is less hesitation, less second guessing, less internal conflict. You are no longer divided within yourself, but unified in your direction. And that unity creates a strength that carries you forward. You begin to release the need for external validation, no longer measuring your worth or your readiness by the opinions of others or by past outcomes. Instead, you turn inward, anchoring yourself in a deeper awareness that is not easily shaken. This shift allows you to move with authenticity, to express yourself without fear of judgment, to take action without being held back by doubt. There is a freedom in this, a lightness that comes from no longer carrying the weight of needing to prove yourself. You are simply being, simply moving, simply aligning with what you know to be true within you. There is also a calmness that accompanies this boldness, a sense of peace that keeps you grounded even as you step into new spaces. You are not rushing, not forcing, not trying to control every outcome. Instead, you are moving with intention, with awareness, with a steady rhythm that allows you to remain centered. This calmness becomes your strength, allowing you to respond rather than react, to think clearly even in moments of pressure, to remain composed even when things do not go as expected. As you continue in this space, you begin to notice that your perspective is changing. Challenges no longer appear as barriers, but as opportunities to express the confidence that is growing within you. Situations that once caused hesitation now become moments where you can stand firm, where you can choose clarity over confusion, courage over fear. You are not avoiding difficulty, but you are approaching it differently, with a mindset that is grounded in possibility rather than limitation. There is a strengthening of your voice, both internally and externally. Internally, your thoughts become more supportive, more aligned with truth, less influenced by doubt. Externally, your words carry more clarity, more intention, more presence. You are not speaking from uncertainty, but from a place of alignment, and that alignment can be felt. It influences how you communicate, how you connect, how you express your ideas and your intentions. There is a consistency between what you think, what you say, and what you do, and that consistency becomes a source of strength. You begin to trust your decisions more, no longer overanalyzing every step, no longer questioning yourself at every turn. This does not mean you act without thought, but that your thinking is no longer clouded by doubt. You consider, you reflect, and then you move, allowing your confidence to guide you forward. There is a flow that begins to develop, a rhythm that allows you to move from one moment to the next with ease, without the constant interruption of hesitation. There is also a deepening of your presence, a sense that you are fully engaged in each moment rather than being distracted by what could go wrong or what has gone wrong in the past. This presence allows you to fully experience your week, to respond with clarity, to make decisions with confidence, to engage with others in a way that is authentic and grounded. You are no longer divided between past and future, but fully here, fully aware, fully aligned. As this confidence continues to grow, you begin to take up space in a different way. Not in a way that seeks attention, but in a way that reflects your alignment. You are no longer shrinking back, no longer holding yourself back from opportunities or from expressing who you are. There is a natural expansion that takes place, a willingness to step forward, to be seen, to be heard. This is not driven by ego, but by clarity, by a quiet assurance that you have something valuable to offer, something that deserves to be expressed. There is also a resilience that begins to form, a steadiness that allows you to remain grounded even when things do not go as planned. You are no longer easily shaken, no longer thrown off course by unexpected challenges. Instead, you adjust, you realign, you continue. This resilience is not about being unaffected, but about being able to return to your center, to your confidence, to your clarity, no matter what arises. In this moment, it becomes important to pause and reflect, to bring awareness to what is already shifting within you. What is one area of your life where you have been holding back because of doubt or fear? And how would your actions change this week if you chose to move with confidence and boldness instead? Take a moment to consider this deeply, to allow the question to settle within you. And then I want you to write your answer in the comments, not just as a statement, but as a declaration of the shift you are choosing to make, because your awareness and your expression begin to reinforce the transformation that is taking place. As you continue to move in this alignment, you begin to notice that your energy feels different, more focused, more directed, less scattered. You are not wasting energy on doubt, on overthinking, on unnecessary worry. Instead, your energy is being channeled into action, into presence, into intentional movement. This creates a sense of momentum, a steady forward movement that carries you through your week with ease and clarity. You begin to feel more connected to yourself, more aware of your thoughts, your emotions, your responses. This awareness allows you to stay aligned, to gently correct yourself when you begin to drift, to return to your center with ease. There is a sense of partnership within you, a cooperation between your awareness and your actions that supports your growth and your movement. There is also a sense of openness that begins to develop, a willingness to embrace new experiences, new opportunities, new ways of thinking and being. You are no longer confined by old patterns or limited by previous experiences. Instead, you are open to what is possible, open to growth, open to change. This openness creates space for new opportunities to enter your life, for new connections to form, for new paths to unfold. As this continues, you begin to move through your week with a quiet confidence that is both steady and expansive, allowing you to navigate each moment with clarity, with presence, with a calm boldness that reflects the alignment you have created within yourself, carrying you forward with a sense of purpose, a sense of direction, and a deep assurance that you are exactly where you need to be, moving exactly as you need to move. with everything within you supporting the path. Ahead, there is a quiet alignment that begins to take place when your thoughts, your words, and your actions start moving in the same direction, no longer scattered, no longer in conflict, but unified with purpose. This alignment is not forced, it is cultivated gently and intentionally as you become more aware of what is happening within you and how it is shaping what is happening around you. You begin to recognize that your thoughts are not just passing ideas, your words are not just expressions, and your actions are not just habits. They are all connected, all contributing to the direction your life is taking. And as this awareness deepens, you begin to bring them into harmony, creating a flow that supports clarity, consistency, and purpose throughout your week. You start by observing your thoughts, noticing the patterns that naturally arise, the assumptions that quietly influence your perspective, the internal dialogue that shapes how you interpret your experiences. There is no judgment in this observation, only awareness. You begin to gently shift your thinking, not by force, but by intention, choosing thoughts that align with clarity, with truth, with possibility. Each thought becomes a building block, something that contributes to the foundation you are creating within yourself. As you become more intentional with your thinking, you notice a subtle shift in how you feel, a lightness, a steadiness, a sense that you are no longer being carried by your thoughts, but guiding them. From this place of aligned thinking, your words begin to change. You speak with more intention, more awareness, more presence. Your words are no longer reactive, no longer shaped by fleeting emotions or external pressures, but by the clarity you have cultivated within. There is a calmness in your voice, a steadiness that reflects the alignment of your thoughts. You are not speaking to fill space, but to express truth, to bring clarity, to reinforce the direction you are choosing. Each word becomes meaningful, carrying the energy of intention, shaping not only your experience, but the atmosphere around you. As your words align, your actions begin to follow naturally. There is less resistance, less hesitation, because your thoughts and words have already set the direction. You move with clarity, with purpose, with a sense of knowing that guides your decisions. Your actions are no longer disconnected from your intentions, but a direct expression of them. This creates a consistency that builds trust within yourself, a sense that you can rely on your own direction, that you can follow through on what you have chosen, that your movement is grounded and aligned. You begin to notice how powerful this alignment is, how it simplifies your experience, how it removes unnecessary conflict and confusion. When your thoughts, words, and actions are aligned, there is less internal resistance, less second guessing, less need to constantly adjust. You are moving in one direction with clarity and intention, and that creates a sense of ease, a flow that carries you through your week with steadiness and confidence. Even when challenges arise, you remain grounded because your alignment provides a stable foundation that is not easily shaken. There is also a deep sense of integrity that emerges from this alignment, a consistency between what you believe, what you say, and what you do. This integrity strengthens your presence, not in a loud or forceful way, but in a quiet and steady manner that can be felt. You become more authentic, more grounded, more connected to yourself. There is no need to pretend, no need to adjust yourself to fit expectations because you are aligned with your own truth. This authenticity brings a sense of peace, a feeling of being settled within yourself, of being at ease with who you are and how you are moving. As you continue to cultivate this alignment, you become more aware of moments where misalignment begins to appear. Perhaps a thought that does not reflect your intention,